Hello, welcome back to Stammer on with me, John. So this is following up to the last video that I just did. YouTube is doing some funny stuff today, so I don't know how long this is going to last. I wanted to follow up talking about. If you've not seen the first video, part one is there. This is part two, just to follow on from what I was saying for what it's worth. So get involved in the chat. Now, I was talking about films and how stammering is portrayed in the media. Now, as I say, there are two main aspects that I believe where stammering is portrayed is either you're can't even talk. You're either cured of stammering or you stammer, and we got to the part where stammering is more seen as a comedic point of view. So that's kind of where I kind of see it now. The comedic part of having a stammer, things like this show, I think it's called Brassic, and as much as I don't know the main character's name or the main guy, even though I have seen the whole thing. He wrote it. He has bipolar. So do I. So from that perspective, I kind of understand a little bit of what he's trying to do with the show. Now, some of it's based on real life, and there's a character on there called Cardi. Now, if you've seen the show, you may think it's a really good portrayal of somebody who has a stammer. Now, the actor doesn't stammer. I don't know how much research he's done into people who have a stammer, so I don't know the preparation of that role. Now, Cardi as a character does have some good he does have some good points, and he does have some good parts. And they do treat him as a friend, and he is an equal. And I really respect that and like that about the show. Now, the only caveat to that is that overall, Cardi is the comedy aspect of the show. Now, I don't necessarily think the comedy aspect is done in a terrible way. However, the message and the rhetoric again is the kind of stammering, or the stammerer is a comedic part of a TV show. Now, I think that's somewhere halfway where I do think they do a good job on Cardi. And as I say, I do like the patrol, but again, it's still tinging on that comedic part of a person that has a stammer. And then, of course, you get Porky Pig. Absolutely, I've always disliked that. Always, ever since I was a child. And I've never been a big fan of this patrol. So the media just feeds into this whole stammering part of you're either funny and you're there to be laughed at, and you're seen as weak. I think that portrayal, I mean, I might be wrong. You may have read some books or seen some films or some TV shows. The only other one I can think of is Ally McBeal, whereby one of the partners or the lawyers in that does have a stammer when he gets really, really nervous. And again, I kind of get that. I tend to, personally myself, is when I'm not as fluent, is when I'm nervous or I'm trying to do something, and there's an audience there. I kind of, that's kind of me, and that's my Achilles heel, if you like. But I kind of, as I've got older, where I guess I care less and less what people think now. So nerves wise, and again, I've accepted that I have a stammer. So kind of what's there to be scared about? Yeah, so this really video and this whole thing is more so about the media, and kind of what they need to be a bit more articulate in the way that they portray stammering. They need to be more educated. I think they're very, very, very clumsy, and this is not the first time in an article by the Mail that they've been clumsy in regards to Stacy. The first piece that they've written about her and her stammer and her speech, again, is really, really clumsy. This is not to necessarily cause offense to the media. I just think the media right now do a very, very, very bad job in the messaging around stammering, and I do think they need to do better. I think there needs to be some education around it. I think the wording needs to be more. A Google search for this piece about Stacy and the singing and the need to retrain voice. Now, I think the most disappointing part of that for me was just a simple search, simple internet search. Do people who have a stammer or can they sing? And to be honest with you, that probably would have sufficed, but I don't know if whoever wrote it did that and ignored it and then just kind of fluffed it up so people would read it, which again is not accurate and not fair, and not fair portrayal of Stacey, and not a fair portrayal of people that have a stammer. There are 81 million people around the world that have a stammer, which is like 1 in 100 people, which I think is quite a lot. And as we say, people who don't really have an idea or a experience of people who stammer. People don't stammer all of the time in every single word. They can. There's imagine a line, fluency and not fluency, and people kind of flit in between that scale. Stammering is very broad. Stammering comes in all different sizes, shapes, and it's not just a one size fits all. So I just think that people need to be more educated, and I think the media has a responsibility in the future to be more intelligent with the conversation, to engage with people who have a stammer, and engage with organizations if they need any information regarding stammering. So YouTube has held up again for me to finish off the video. If you need any information or you want any information in regards to people that stammer, there are loads of websites out there, and I can put them in the description. Feel free to comment. Feel free to send me a chat. I'll put my contacts in there as well. And just if you want to let me know what you want to see in a show, if you want to talk about something in regards to having a stammer, get your opinions across. It's your opportunity to have your voice heard. I know it's easier to do it in a message or a chat. So feel free to let me know anything that's on your mind that you want to talk about, and I'll get it into the show and get it onto the show. And we can talk about things that annoy you, things that make you happy, your experiences, anything good about pretty much most things. We can get it onto the show. So YouTube is held up. Thank you for those who have watched. Please share the video because it helps get the message of people who have a stammer out there. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and see you later. Bye-bye.